So we're going to do another track review today, but this time I'm going to basically keep myself completely out of it. I really want Yele to take all of the lead here with this review. So the track we're going to listen to here in just a second is from Tzar. He's one of our Pro Feedback members. He's got an orchestral track. I took a little preview of the track. I listened to it. It's really, really cool. It's really good. Curious to hear what Yele will say. So I post these videos because I want you guys to not only potentially learn from these reviews and see, maybe you can learn from some of the mistakes of some of these composers who are, by the way, you guys are super courageous and brave to be posting your music and allowing us to review them publicly. That's really, really courageous of you guys to do that. So I do appreciate you guys and for trusting us to be able to do that. But for all you guys on YouTube who are watching, I hope you can take some of the lessons and some of the advice that we give to our members and apply it to your own music. And of course, if you ever want to join us, that link is always in the description box of my videos. So you're always welcome to join us if you feel like this kind of a feedback would make a big difference for your sync licensing career. So without further ado, I'm going to toss it over to Yele, and we're going to take a listen to this track by Tzar, and Yele is going to give us his thoughts.
Okay, so this is a very, very epic sounding track. I really love it. So regarding the volume, I think that the horns are a little bit too loud. You can almost hear them clipping. It's such a shame because I really love the samples that he's using. I don't know which sample libraries he's using, but it's sounding so great. And then for me, the distortion in the horns was a bit like not per se a mood killer, but it really showed that it was just a bit over the top regarding volume. So regarding the volume of the brass section can be a little bit lower. The rest was perfect. What I also found a little bit distracting was that there was so much reverb going on in the track. You have a very beautiful written track, orchestrating wise, it's absolutely lovely, but the reverb applied to, I don't know if you applied the reverb to the entire mixing bus or to every individual instances of the groups or the instrument tracks, but the reverb overall is a little bit too much. It really sounds washed out a little bit. So decreasing the reverb would already help just to solve this issue for sounding too wet, basically, as the term is in the mixing sector. So it's sounding too wet regarding the reverb. It sounds really washed out. By decreasing the reverb, I really think you can already tackle that problem. But for the rest, mixing-wise, all the elements are coming out pretty well. The samples are great. The length is exactly great. Is exactly right. The length is around for a standard trailer right now is, well, I think 2 minutes, but 2.5 minutes is, well, more than 2.5 minutes. I can see now. It's absolutely perfect. They have a good amount of length to play with. The music supervisors, I mean, they have enough room to play with, and I think that this track is pretty much licensable if you solve these issues with the reverb and with the higher volumes in the brass sections. So yeah, mixing wise, the panning, well, you could play a little bit with that to create a more wider image. I know there are a couple of plugins that can do that for you, the stereo imaging. There is a free plugin called the BX Master Desk, which I always use on my master bus, which I only use the stereo enhance function to spread the track a little bit out. But you can already do this also by just panning, but I'm a little bit lazy regarding that. So panning-wise, you can also be experimenting a little bit with. So the brass is right now, I believe, in the middle, and then you have your strings. Basically, how I use my panning in these kind of mixes is using a real orchestral layout. So I mean, my camera is a little bit mirrored here. So you have your string section, your first violins over here, then you have your violas, then your cello, and your double basses are normally over here, but I used to do it in the center. And then your brass section is is somewhere over here. So mixing these kind of tracks is always a daunting task, but if you have a layout of a real orchestra, it really helps you so much with making the right decisions regarding mixing these kind of tracks. So yeah, basically regarding panning, it's already sounding great, but you can just play a little bit with it. And for the rest, it's an absolutely epic sounding track. Maybe you can maybe experiment a little bit with sound effects like risers or alarms. Like in the final section of your track, you have this very big sounding sounds. But I don't know if you know any. I mean, you used the term war in this title for this track. If you use some sort of alarm like air raid alarms, of course you need to check if you can use the samples. But if you have, for example, Devastator, the trailer package, or just a French horn drenched in reverb, then I know that that's a bit contradicting what I just said. But having a French horn with a big reverb and then play with the pitch bend, you can already create these kinds of effects like an air raid. So playing with that a little bit, I think, would also increase the cell potential of this track. But for the rest, regarding the idea of that you have with this track and the quality, it's already sounding great. Just the reverb dimming a little bit down. For me, the reverb was just a point that I think could be improved upon. But for the rest, it's an amazing sounding track, and I think he did a really, really great job with this one.